We all make stories in our head, so why not make the story that serves you?
Yes.
Why not create the story that serves you? That I always have that in the back. It's like in my tool belt.
Wow, right on. So that one's like popping up a lot.
Mm-hmm. And the intention versus expectation, or intention in relation to expectation.
Do you checking what's the weather report?
I can go busy, super busy, but like a good kind of busy. Just been focusing on school and like just self. Had a few interesting kind of like fight with friends or a friend, and also letting go of some like relationships or putting some relationships on pause. That's interesting. And overall just trying to focus on myself, really. That's kind of like the main thing.
How would you describe the weather?
I would describe it as like partly sprinkles, partly sunny, partly cloudy. Overall. But overall, when it like after the rain and then you see the sun, but it's still kind of sprinkling and it's hot, but it's also kind of cold. It's like that. And it's there's like a sense of like, I like that sense of like comfort still, like it's nice.
So like how are you feeling then, like in general?
I'm fucking amazing.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I've been in practice of the framework. I've been just like, it's been quicker for me
Oh
to
yeah.
identify, but there's certain things that I actually wanted to like reach out to you about because I'm having trouble trying to identify my ego and my higher self. But I've been quicker to identify the triggers and how to basically make an assessment and not necessarily resolve it, but be like at peace with it and understand it.
What does that process look like?
Um, a lot of patience, a lot of understanding, um, a lot of just coming from a neutral place and observing and not placing judgment and expectation on myself and other people, and really just like discerning myself from like what I think they think and like what I think. So it's like
Right.
so just a lot of that.
Dang. That's great, dude. Anything else?
Yeah, like the story. We all make stories in our head, so why not make the story that serves you?
Yes.
Why not create the story that serves you? That I always have that in the back. It's like in my tool belt.
Wow, right on. So that one's like popping up a lot.
Mm-hmm. And the intention versus expectation, or intention in relation to expectation. Yeah.
Who's next?
I can go. So my weather report is sunny with a little bit of clouds, but it's like that nice, like beautiful looking kind of cloud versus, a scary one. And I think so I'm on the road, right? And I'm like driving for friggin' 5 hours, 5.5 hours from LA to the Bay. And I just listened to like some folks on YouTube who kind of like condense the teachings of like all these different spiritual leaders, or just people who have, I want to just like call it infinite intelligence, right? And I keep going through waves and waves of emotions, because I'm going through a lot of things right now, and it's kind of like a time of change. And there's a really cool thing that like Claire mentioned in her IG stories, was when you feel like you're buried, you're actually being planted. And I was like, oh shit, man. I'm like totally feeling that because I feel like I'm in a really dark place. But the reason why I'm there is because I'm like at the cusp of growth, if that makes sense. And yeah, just like understanding, right? I feel like I'm like where Claire is at too, where I'm understanding and I'm like catching those like triggers a lot faster now, instead of like wallowing in sorrow and like being all sad and negative about everything. I'm starting to like see and understand like why this is happening for me and not to me.
Mm.
So yeah, it's been an amazing journey. And now that I am putting myself in this kind of like different perspective or mindset, I'm I just feel like things are better, like, and I'm actually seeing things in like the relationships that are around me, in the conversations that I'm having, in the opportunities, even with work. Like, I just feel like when you change your mindset and you look at things in a different way, like everything just starts like looking good for you. So that's where I'm at, like seeing the beautiful part of the weather.
Can I say something about that?
Yeah.
Um, I like how you say you're like catching your triggers and that you're like kind of learning how to deal with them like sooner or faster. And then you said not wallowing, or right, you said something about not wallowing in the emotions.
Hmm.
I just want to share, like, I had like an epiphany because I used to do that a lot. And then I figured out, well, for myself, what worked is like, it's not really like not doing it, but it's like doing it efficiently.
Yes.
Like, it's okay to like let yourself get to a place where it's like, oh, you're depressed, you're like this, and like, but like kind of be efficient. Like after you do that, it's like, okay, now like what is it? Or like kind of just maybe going deeper into that, because then there's something there, obviously. But yeah, that's just kind of like I what came up for me when you said like wallow, but it's like wallowing for a reason.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. 100%.
Yeah.
You have to like feel it and just like
Right.
allow yourself to feel it.
Yeah.
But when you are efficient, just like you said, right? When you're like efficient with your energy and your time, like, whew, that to me is like the biggest breakthrough because that's like
Mhm.
self mastery.
Right.
As Mark King would say, that's some black belt shit.
It's true because it's like now that you have like understanding and comprehension of how to use the tool, it's just getting the reps in to become efficient at it. Like, and that wallowing just becomes easier to move through and still being able to address whatever feelings come up around it. You're still able to experience that. It's just like then the question becomes like, how much time do you want to spend on, and energy do you want to spend on that, where it can be just used elsewhere that's more in the alignment.
Yeah, I don't want to spend time on it anymore. I want that fucking 10th degree black belt.
Yeah.
I want to be there.
Yeah, and that's where you get to practice the patience, right? Everything has a gestation period. Like everything has its seasons, and it has to take its course that it's supposed to take. We can nurture it, we can help it, we can maybe guide it, but it's going to get there when it gets there. And
Yeah.
sometimes it gets there quicker than we expect sometimes, but it's more about just really trusting the process, and which helps to keep you more present. You know what I mean?
Yes, 100%. Yeah, I kind of like feel like it's time to get another tattoo.
Right.
All right, I'm complete. Who wants to go next?